This is the blueprint on how you can go from nothing to hitting a between the legs dunk, just like our athlete Hack did recently. And it's quite insane. He did this. He did this over the course of 3 years. Could he have done it quicker? Yeah, but it's still insane nonetheless that he's gone from like nothing. Like he could even like Tom would lob the ball in front of the rim and he wouldn't be able to hit a one-hander. And he's
Mhm.
6 foot, by the way. He's 6 foot. So this is his journey, and this is what you can take from it. So then you can make similar progress to him because he is definitely not a genetic outlier or special by any means. So we're not saying anyone can make progress like him, but anyone can make it quite insane progress if they just do the right things like we're going to speak about in this podcast. And had quite a few unique things he needed to work on that do apply to quite a lot of people listening. So it will definitely apply to you. So starting off with Hack, when he first started training with us, here's what we would call a wolf jump profile. So basically, he didn't really have any strengths. It was weak. It wasn't like that crazy fast. It was probably, average in terms of speed. He definitely wasn't slow by any means, but he definitely wasn't crazy, crazy fast. He wasn't really crazy strong. Like the only real thing he had going for him was his jump technique was pretty
Yeah.
good off 2 feet. 1 foot, that's a different story. You can't jump off 1 foot for shit. But 2 feet, his technique was actually solid. He'd been a basketball player for most of his life, loves playing basketball, played it quite consistently, like multiple times a week. So he had a good base in terms of uh, athleticism from just playing basketball. Even though he wasn't particularly powerful or couldn't really jump very high, he was probably only just barely touching rim, to be honest, when he started. So with Hack, we really had to focus on bringing up everything for him. And this applies to pretty much almost every basketball player. Every basketball player is like Hack. Like they're not particularly fast, they're not particularly explosive, they're not particularly strong, they're not particularly good at anything other than just playing basketball and shooting and obviously playing the sport. They're not like standout athletes like, track and field guys to where they can be naturally like pretty bouncy, or they're not like say a NFL player to where they already have quite a bit of strength and power behind them, but they're like coordination. Basketball players, they're just more average across the board. And
Mhm.
that's what we would nickname a wolf jump profile. So that's pretty much where Hack started. And that's really what transformed his athleticism, was us focusing on heavily bringing up his strength, heavily bringing up his speed, getting him actually jumping and dunking, because he had a huge, I would say his like biggest deficit was actually the skill side of things for him. Would you agree, Tom?
Yeah, in terms of just, like, finishing trick dunks. Like, he was alright getting his first dunk, but when it came to trick dunks, it did take him a fair amount of practice.
Well,
Yeah.
to be honest, man, I remember it took him ages to hit his first one-hander, like ages, because he couldn't finish. He just kept back rimming it.
Yeah, he was one of the to be fair, yeah, he was one of those guys, he jumped a little higher than you probably need to hit your first one-hander compared to someone like me, or I think you were quite efficient as well. But you went off dribble, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
off 1 foot too.
off one, yeah,
So the first dunk was off 1 foot, 1 foot one-hander.
at arc.
Yeah, and then after that, I learned to lob when I met you. When I saw you lobbing it, I'm like, I
That's
want to lob
crazy,
like Tom,
bro.
dude.
You didn't, like, think to lob to yourself?
Yeah, yeah. But getting back to Hack, like he struggled for ages finishing just even a one-hander. Like I from memory, dude, like in 2022. It took him like 3 months to hit a one-hander despite him getting high enough.
It's pretty bad.
Like, and you lobbing it in front of the rim. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
just kept
was.
back rimming, back rimming it. But I remember the day he hit his first one-hander, everyone chased him exactly like how he hit his first East Bay.
That's true, yeah, yeah. That's like that could be a cool
Like,
little post, yeah. Same stadium as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So Hack struggled a lot with like technique. So like he's had to do a lot of low rimming and a lot of dunk practice. Like even because when did he hit his first windmill? In 2023. It was the start of 2023.
Yeah.
Start of 2023, he hit his first windmill, and even then, like it took him ages to do that. And that was off dribble too, wasn't it?
I swear he hit one off the lob first, and then I remember the first off dribble, it was on the same court I got my first under both at the arc. That was his first off dribble because I remember chasing him for that. But I think
No,
he hit did he hit his first windmill off dribble?
yeah, yeah, it was off dribble, 100%. I remember it was crazy efficient.
That's
So
cooked. That's actually cooked.
So yeah, 2023 he hit his first windmill, and part of that is him just practicing dunking like a lot, like a lot. He's got like thousands and thousands and thousands of reps over the past 3 years. Aside from getting him a lot more powerful and faster and stronger, like that was one of the biggest drivers. Recently, I have moved to Europe, and he actually moved into my old house. I left him my basketball rim, and I don't think it's a coincidence that ever since then he's hit his first East Bay because he has had consistent access to a low rim. And I know he's been low rimming a lot more consistently than he did before because he has that access now. And that's also played a huge part of him hitting this East Bay more quickly too. Because he did a two-hand catch and it was pretty efficient, to be honest, the way he hit it.
Sure.
So a huge part of that is him just low rimming a lot more consistently. And I feel like it's not even hidden. It's like like most people should know about this by now, but most people do not do it. Like if you suck at dunking, practice dunking, and if you can't dunk, do it on a low rim. Like we just like nearly everyone I talk to that wants to dunk, they're not doing it. It's not doing this. And the number one thing someone needs to work on, and the number one thing most of the time that's holding someone back from dunking is skill. They just suck. They just suck. And that's essentially how Hack has gone from nothing to hitting an East Bay because he's just practiced the skill that many times. There's no way he would have gone from nothing to an East Bay in 3 years as starting out as a pretty fucking average athlete if he wasn't low rimming and dunking as much as he did. And Tom, that's like how you progressed so fastly too early on.
Yeah, low
You
rimming.
just practiced and got rep, 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 rep. And that's like a huge part of how you went from nothing to an East Bay in 1 year.
Yeah, like for the windmill, it's like obviously the windmill's like a lot less technical than between the legs because you're just doing like a little rotation, whereas between the legs you got to pull your leg up, and it's a lot more complicated. And for my first windmill, I wouldn't say I low rim that like overly much, maybe a couple of times, but it was really just I started jumping higher like very quickly, so I really got to the point of touching like 10-10 quite quickly in my jump journey. So I just started going for windmills. I just started going for them on 10 foot straight away. And eventually I put one down and I kind of like just kept repping it that way. So I got lucky in that sense. But, between the legs, under 6 foot doesn't happen by accident. So to hit that dunk, I literally, yeah, I had to spam on the low rim. And I literally worked up. I started with a two-hand catch actually when I first started doing it. And I realized it's slightly like slower. So I was like, all right, I'll go one-hand catch. I studied Brody Stevens' technique. And he gave me a few tips back in the day on how to hit the off the lob East Bay. And yeah, literally worked my way up from like less than 8 feet because I just couldn't coordinate it. And then yeah, just kept working up. One day, 10 foot, chuck the lob, and just the hyper efficient technique allowed me to hit that dunk.
No, for sure. And then just thousands of reps. Do
Literally.
you know what's insane to me? Like the amount of times I ask someone, okay, man, so what are your goals? Oh, I want to be able to windmill. Oh, I want to be able to hit it between the legs. And then I ask them, the next question I ask them, they're like, okay, cool. How many times are you practicing those dunks a week? And they're
Zero.
like, zero? Okay, well then how do you expect to hit the dunks?
What are we doing, guys? Come on. You gotta try the thing, man.
Yeah, like if you got a goal of hitting a dunk, cool, all right. So you need to rep the dunk as much as you can. As much as you can. If you wanna speed run hitting it. Like, I'm talking like if you got 30 jumps in a session, you should be spending like 15 to 20 of those trying to hit the dunk you want to hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that your body will automatically figure shit out. Like if you just give it the time and the reps, your body will like it'll slowly figure it out without you having to think too much. Like your subconscious mind is so powerful. Like Tom,
That's
like
big, actually. Hang on. Yeah, like, yeah, when I was laying between the legs, there was definitely cues I would focus on and cues that Brady would kind of teach me and help me go through, right? But it's not as like, I don't want to say technical, but it's not as like overly complicated as a lot of people want to think. They're like, you don't go out to a low room session and you're like, do your attempt, whatever, you miss it and you go, oh, I need to pull my leg up 3 more centimeters and externally rotate my femur 3 degrees. It's more a case of, okay, I missed that because, I didn't turn my body enough. And like, it's as simple as that, but you're going to get most of your value out of literally just, letting your body do its thing and figure it out, not overthink it. Because the second you're thinking about, where your femur needs to be, angle, like your jump is going to be slow. You're going to get off the ground slow, going to jump low, and actually probably not even going to progress that.
How many times has Hack been repping in the East Bay in sessions recently?
Way more.
So
Yeah.
So that's the secret, guys. There is no fucking secret. Go out, don't overthink, rep it, have the goal, rep it, rep it, rep it, rep it, rep it. Your body's gonna figure it out. Literally, it'll figure it out. It'll find a way to get the job done.
Bro, there's gonna be people like Calvin Argan, right? They're gonna be listening to this podcast and be like, man, like this is such a silly podcast topic. Like, obviously, if you want to get better at a dunk, you gotta go and low rim it and practice it. But we have to make this podcast because although there are the select few that know about this and put it into practice and are super obsessed with dunking, I'd say a good 95% of people do not put in nearly enough reps to hit the dunk they need to be hitting.
So
Or
until
they
we
won't
see
hit.
95% of people,
Literally, and then we're gonna keep making it until we see it. Yeah.
until we see 95% of people doing what we're saying, then we're just gonna keep saying what we're saying.
Because it works. Because we're not it's not like we're not fishing for ideas here. We're giving you the most genuine advice you can get. Like if there was a secret, if there was like some weird meditation thing that works better than this, yeah, I'd tell you about it. But there isn't. It's this.
This is the best way. Like, this is the best and fastest way. The best and fastest way. And the reason Hack has gone from nothing to an East Bay in 3 years. And Tom, you did it in fucking 1 year, which is insane. But the reason for that is because he has just been willing to rep it more than other people and fail and miss the dunk more than other people. And then over time, his body's just figured it out.
Shout out Hack, man.
That's literally the secret behind hitting that dunk. And then aside from that, the work we've done to help him get more powerful and explosive and stronger and faster, that's absolutely been a key driver as well. We cannot ignore that. He's taking his squat from fucking like 70 kilos to what, like 140 now?
155, I believe.
155. So he's taking his squat from like 70 kilos to like 155.
He's doubled it.
So he's jumping like 42, 43 inches now, somewhere around that ballpark. So he's added like 15 inches to his vertical. Like, let's get that straight. He's added 15 inches to his vertical over the past like 3 years, overcoming injuries, overcoming a serious like lower back disc injury as well. This was not smooth sailing by any means, but he's done that, and he's had some very dark times to where he's nearly given up, but he never gave up, and he's just pushed through.
Here he is, man.
And that's why he's here.
The winner.
It's done. So the other things as well, when Hack first started out, he was actually quite strong through his posterior chain. I remember training him, and he could Romanian deadlift 140 kilos, so he was very strong. But his quads, like, there's non-existent. They left the chat, or they weren't in the chat. They weren't invited to the chat.
No.
In the first place.
Yeah.
So that was a huge driver behind increasing his vertical and getting him to the point to where he could East Bay as well. It was getting his quad stupid strong and more than doubling his squat.
Yeah, I remember his deadlift was pretty insane as well, like with that minimal training. Like when his squat was maybe 100, like arse to grass, he was probably deadlifting like 180 kg at that point, which just doesn't add up. Like he was just so, posterior based. So, there's a lot of leakages that we had to fix pretty early on with him. And obviously we're still trying to get him stronger. Like, don't get that twisted.
No, 100%. 100%. So there were key drivers behind Hack hitting this dunk. One, just getting him jumping high enough, and two, developing the skill through him just repping it, missing it till we hit it. And guess what? If he wants to hit this dunk again, he just needs to, is likely going to miss it another 30 times, then hit it again. And then over time, what's going to happen is he'll go from having to miss it 30 times over the course of like a month or a couple months to 20 times. And then it'll slowly just get more consistent over time, just through him repping it more and his body just naturally figuring it out. That's where, for everyone listening, such a good way to improve your jump technique is just having something that's you can barely touch or that's just out of reach, and then just jumping and trying to touch it without overthinking your jump at all. And then your body will just naturally figure it out how to touch it and find the most efficient, optimal way.
Does do
without
that.
you having a jump technique. It's literally like an automated process in your brain. Give your brain an external goal to drive towards that is actually extremely challenging, and then just rep it, and then your body will get more efficient at it, and eventually you'll reach that goal. It's literally like the formula to hit any dunk you want.
I'd also say, because I remember I did this unintentionally. I mean, I didn't know it worked at the time, but just because of the nature of how I was and kind of still are, like, if you want to hit a new dunk, you know, under both, between the legs, or literally as simple as a one-hander, it helps to be obsessed with it. It helps to really care about it to the point where, you know, at night you're laying there in bed, you're thinking about the dunk. You're in the shower, you know, after a dunk session where you've missed a dunk, you're thinking about the dunk. It's always thinking about the dunk consistently, constantly, thinking about how it would feel to like put the ball between your legs or, you know, whatever you're doing. And there's actually research showing that this, I mean, obviously doesn't transfer as well as actually going out and practicing, but it has some value in just thinking about it and, you know, picturing and visualizing what it would be like to make that.
Bro, I would say saying it has some value is like an understatement. I feel like it's like gives you 90% of the value of going out and doing it. Versus, like literally,
Yeah,
like there's like studies proving that it's literally like almost as good. It's not as good,
obviously. Yeah.
but it's like, but it's almost as good.
You may as well be
So
doing it.
like Formula One driver, we've talked about this before. Formula One drivers do it prior to they
Hmm.
visualize going around every corner and what they need to do. It's like extra free practice in your mind.
3 gains without the knee pain.
Yeah. So if
Wow.
you guys want to help, you want our guidance, there's a link down below to where you can check that out and we can help you. But if not, that's fine. We hope you enjoyed the podcast and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace out.